Most people look at video and think, how do I turn this into a few clips or social posts? But today we're going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to actually show you how to flip that thinking a little bit. Instead, what we're going to do is we're going to take one video and we're going to turn it into big picture ideas. That could be a new product, a podcast series, a YouTube channel, a course, a newsletter. The idea is that we're just going to generate ideas out of this big picture thinking. So this isn't about repurposing content. It's about unlocking the potential from what you already have or content that's already out there. And so by the end of the session, you'll have a simple process to be able to turn any video into a launchpad for what your next big thing is. Just like we typically do, what I'm going to do is go ahead. I'm going to share my screen. I got two tabs here. I got one importing. So to kind of kick things off, for those of you who are new, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to do everything off of video. And so like I mentioned before, we're going to really help figure out big picture ideas of how we can extract content from Alphana. Alphana can help you really repurpose content. It could create content for you, whether blog posts, newsletters, clips, anything like that. But what if you're not looking to actually just create content? You just want to be able to come up with new ideas, right? You want to make the content yourself. You just want to help use this as an idea engine. And that's one of the things that we're going to focus on today. And so right now I'm logged into my dashboard. And when I go ahead and click create, I'm going to essentially here what we'll let you do is to grab any YouTube video or a video or audio video file and upload that into Alphana. And that's kind of the premise of what we're doing, right? What we want to do is from that content, see what types of ideas and content we can generate from it. And so right now I'm going to have a video. I'm just going to preload a YouTube link that I pulled. This is from the Balance Theory podcast. And so we're going to let that run because this is going to be one of the starting points we're going to use to be able to create content from. I'm going to go back here and it looks like the other video that I started uploading just to save time is already pulled in from YouTube. And because I want to start from scratch on generating some ideas, we're just going to, instead of selecting templates, which templates are going to be workflows, it's going to execute like 20 or 30 different things at once. We just want to focus on one thing right now, and that's generating some ideas. And one of the first ideas that we thought through was, okay, there's kind of different aspects, right? You could do a product or a startup idea, a YouTube channel idea, a newsletter idea. We're going to start off with the product or a startup idea from this YouTube video. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to search through these cards and we're going to find, let me see if I have it, maybe towards the end. And we're going to find, it's a new card that we added called product or startup ideas. Here it is. And so I'm going to go ahead and select that card. It's called product or startup ideas. I'm going to click next, edit transcript before generating. For now, I'm just going to say no, and I'm going to hit generate. And right now what we're doing is we're actually going to analyze the video. We're going to extract a transcript. And from that transcript, we're going to analyze the topics, the ideas, the themes, just everything that's being discussed inside of the video, right? We all know that when you watch your favorite podcast or listen to a podcast or watch your favorite video on YouTube or a webinar, just so many golden nuggets are found in there, right? There's so much insights. There's so many ideas. There could be things that were spoke about under their breath for like just a few seconds, and then they switch quickly to another topic. Well, why don't we actually take that information and extract all those insights and then be able to use it to ideate or brainstorm more ideas out of it, right? And that's really the purpose of what we're doing. And so that's what's going on right now is we're analyzing it. And then from there, we're going to come up with 5 startup ideas, all based on the context from this video. So I'm going to let that run. Right now it's transcribing the video still. Let's look at this other video. That's okay. So this one's still importing. We're importing this one from YouTube. We want to have a second one that's a completely different theme. So I could show you guys an example of what it looks like if we were to generate some of these samples with another video. And so I'm letting this one run as we see here. Perfect. So as we go through this, does anybody here need help with either coming up with ideas for their podcast or ideas for like a new newsletter series they want to create, or maybe you're trying to come up with a course and you want to come up with a course idea? Just drop in the chat if any one of those are things that you're looking for. Number 2, if you've got a YouTube video that's in your market, that's or in your niche, please go ahead and drop that in the video, or anything that you're like, hey, this is actually a pretty cool video. I'd love to figure out insights from. I could use that as part of the live demo as well. All right, this is running. Let's make sure here. So we got this video already loaded up. I'm going to go ahead and select a card, and we are going to, let's see, actually for this one, I'm just going to leave it blank. So we could start with a blank canvas when I come to this one. And so let's come over here. And I'm just going to select the transcript generator. That's only going to get us the transcript, nothing else, which is what we want. So I'm going to say no, and I'm going to hit generate. So now we're going to have another project ready for us to be able to look at once this one's done. All right, so this looks like it finished up. It came up with a few ideas. Here we go. It's still writing. And that's one of the great things, right, inside of Alphana is that all the content generates in real time. You see when it's transcribing. You also see the content as it's generated. Love more ideas for topics to use as a free lead magnet or a low dollar offer leading into my signature course. That's beautiful. All right, we'll cover that as well. So this is generating the content. Now, I just pulled in from this video. Now, I know you can't see this, is not the great, but this is from the Ideas podcast with Greg Eisenberg. And he comes up with a lot of startup ideas or ways that people can make money. It's a lot about ideas, which is fantastic. It kind of works for this purpose as well. So in all his episodes and all his shows, there's always some new ideas they come up with. That's either how to make money, how to do something in an automated way, or coming up with new businesses or new products, anything like that. And so if you think about that, like, how do I get that insight out, right? You could watch the video, but then you got to write it all down and take notes. So now in here, what we did is we automatically extracted 5 different startup ideas, all based on the context from the video. And so before I show you those ideas, if you just come in here and read the prompt, I'll show you. It's very simple. Essentially what we asked it to do was, based on this video, please generate 5 product or startup ideas that solve real problems mentioned or implied in the content. Focus on useful, realistic solutions, dive right into the ideas without any pretext or commentary. Format each idea's title in bold and keep the description short and clear. This prompt is the exact reason why the content was written this way, right? I asked it to be short. I asked for the titles to be bold. I wanted it to dive right into the content. I told it what to focus on, right? So if you ever are working either in Alphana or in another AI platform and you're wondering why the content doesn't come out the way you want it, it's most likely because of the instructions, which of course in Alphana, we reveal those instructions to you so that you can actually use it and tweak it to your liking. So if I come in here now, if I look at some of these ideas, let's see what they come up with, right? So one of them is a secure local email processor, a tool that securely processes your emails locally on your device, summarizing your projects and their statuses without sending data to the cloud. This addresses security concerns and helps you stay organized effortlessly. All right, that's interesting. Another one is a message behavior analyzer. So an app that can analyze your messaging patterns to identify toxic behaviors in your contacts and yourself. Helps you to understand which relationships may be harmful and how you can improve your communication. All right, if anybody wants to take up this idea, you've got one here. Another one, I don't know if anybody in here has got an agency, if you do web development or digital marketing, but here's an idea for an automated web design agency. An agency that automatically redesigns outdated local business websites using modern design principles. It offers these businesses a new site with a click to buy option, enhancing their online presence. Not bad. So like an AI website generator, I would say. AI-based lending platform. So a platform that automates the loan process for businesses using AI, reducing the time from application to approval drastically. It simplifies getting business loans, making the process efficient and fast. And then last but not least, wardrobe management app. So an app that suggests outfits based on photos of your wardrobe tailored to specific occasions like date night or business meetings, helping users to make quick wardrobe decisions without the hassle. Now, all these ideas are always going to come out of the video that you're uploading, right? So every niche, every topic is always going to be different. In this case, it's talking about like actual like tech ideas, right, in these types of products. And it's most likely because of the podcast that's around the topics that they usually discuss. But again, if you're an agency, if you're talking about content, or if you're, a lifestyle business or brick and mortar and you're watching content that's related to that, then in here, this would look completely different. While I wait for questions, you'll see that this other project was generated. We now have a beautifully formatted transcript. So now we understand everything that's talked about in this episode. And since this was blank, this is just telling us, hey, your next step, you can actually use the transcript, click copy, or generate more content by adding cards. And I'm just going to go ahead and delete that because we don't need it. Let's think about another aspect. So this was products and startup ideas. But let's just say if we were going to do a YouTube channel or series, right? You're trying to come up with a YouTube channel and topics of what you could talk about. And you watched a video or a podcast, or you had your own video or a meeting with a client, and you're trying to extract ideas out of that. What would that look like, right? And so I'll come in here. Let me just search YouTube channel. Do I have it? Here we go. So we have a card. So for those of you that missed it, what I did was I went ahead and I clicked add card. And in here, this is an entire content library of content cards that can generate content for you, like LinkedIn posts, summaries, Instagram clips, reels, all that good stuff. And the one that we're focusing on right now is YouTube channel series or ideas, right? And so let's go ahead and drop that on here. So now as I drop the YouTube channel or series ideas onto the project, it's automatically, again, analyzing the video. And from there, it's going to come up with new ideas based on the insights from the video. And there you go. Now I've got 5 ideas for a new YouTube channel series. So the first one, right? Building $1 million business. Explore simple business ideas that can be quickly implemented and scaled to generate significant revenue. Highlight real world examples and successful stories, right? That's one. Another one could be an automated agency for local businesses. So create a series on building an automated agency. So it's almost like building in public. Discuss the tools and strategies for website design and outreach. Another channel could be about viral business ideas. Share short-term business ideas that can go viral, focusing on trends and consumer behavior. Another one could be a media business incubation. So dive into the world of the media business, discussing how to buy or incubate media companies for long-term success. And then last but not least, another channel could be about AI-powered productivity tools. So this just kind of gives you an idea of like, all right, I'm trying to come up with a new YouTube channel. I saw this video. They came up with a couple ideas. I would love for my channel to have some of those insights or topics that they talk about. Let me try to extract that to come up with more ideas, right? Let's try maybe one more, and then we'll kind of move to a different topic so you can see what content looks like with another video. So this one is not for lead magnets, but we will do one shortly, but this one's going to be more for like an online course. So here we go. So if I add a card, just like what I did here, and I see one, I've got one for course or workshop ideas. So again, if you're trying to come up with a new course or workshop, you could actually select this card and drop it onto a project. And based on the insights from the video, it will automatically generate a couple ideas that you could use for your course or workshop that you're putting together. Now, I love using this as an example. Sometimes I teach an AI workshop here in Miami. There's another one coming up on Thursday. And sometimes if I'm trying to aggregate and research some information, I might use this card across different videos, and it helps me to kind of weave together a couple ideas for things that maybe I'm not thinking about, or some insights that I could tie in if we're trying to teach something. And later we can show you how you can actually turn this into a full-fledged course as well. But this is just kind of giving you the initial ideas right now. To be fair, I didn't watch the whole video, so a lot of the content is a little bit similar. So, this course could be about communication skills, learn how to enhance in-text communication using AI tools. This workshop will teach participants how to avoid passive-aggressive tones and improve clarity in business messages. I mean, just look how a YouTube channel versus a startup idea versus a workshop, like they're very similar ideas because they all had something around messaging or anything like that, but yet what it can be taught for a course is completely different. Another one would be, let's say, starting a media business with AI. Explore the steps to incubate or buy media businesses. This course will cover how to leverage AI for content creation and data analysis to build a sustainable media brand. So this just kind of gives you, again, more ideas on how you can turn it into something different based on it. But what if we did this with a different video, right? So we just tried right now YouTube channel, product or startup ideas, and a course or workshop ideas. Now I've got this video. It's about 10 powerful habits. Actually, I have the link here. Let's see. I pulled this one again from YouTube. Let's see. This is from the Balance Theory podcast. And what is it about, right? If you're someone on a journey like her, you're getting curious about yourself, want to improve your life, or interested in knowing yourself better and ultimately trying to create the life that you want for yourself, then this is for you. So this is about the 10 of the most impactful habits that have been game-changing in her life, in her self-improvement journey. And so this video is all about self-improvement. And so if you've got any niche topics about self-improvement or how to maintain a balanced life, this is going to be able to help extract a lot of those insights, right? So now if I come back in here and we said, hey, you know what? From this, I'd like to maybe come up with I don't know, what's another idea series? We could go back to online course and just see, since we just finished doing that one, and see what an online course ideas would look like. And I'll go ahead and drop that onto a project. So now completely different theme, different topics. We could see now what course ideas would come up with based on this. It'd be really helpful to have something that I could just click something to get a summary of what the latest trends are in videos that are getting great results. Like the current thumbnail trends are changing. Here's the latest things that I'll be trending. Is that something Alphana could do, or is better to use ChatGPT or something else? That's a great question. So right now in Alphana, right, we're using a lot of best practices in the platform to be able to generate content. The one way in Alphana to figure out, okay, well, what are the current trends of things that are happening? There's a lot of information on YouTube. We don't pull it automatically, but if you find videos online that are talking about these topics, you can pull that into Alphana and extract those concepts and to figure out what things are trending. It is something that we're working on and ways that we could tie it into the product itself so that you don't have to get off of Alphana. But if you're trying to figure out like, what's trending so you can figure out what topics to pull in from, you could use either ChatGPT or finding something on YouTube to try to pull those insights. Eventually you'll be able to do that in Alphana where we'll pull actual live insights. But, until we have that ready to roll out, we probably won't talk about it much. Hope that helps for now. But again, right now, grab a video that's talking about it and you'll be able to extract a lot of insights of current trends and be able to pull it from those videos right now, which I think would be really helpful for you. Now we've got one for course or workshop ideas. Here's one. It's like mindful habits for personal growth. This workshop focuses on developing mindful habits like meditation, journaling, and silent walks. Participants will learn how to incorporate distraction-free time into their routines to better connect with their thoughts and feelings, enhancing their self-improvement journey. All right, so you can see how this is completely different than the other one that we just went over. What's another idea? Okay, here's one. No agenda time. Embrace freedom. Learn how to incorporate no agenda time into your weekly routine. This workshop encourages setting aside time with no obligations, allowing for spontaneous and stress-free activities that rejuvenate the mind. Another one is the art of constant education, right? Engage in a lifelong learning through this course that emphasizes the importance of continuous education. Participants will explore various methods like podcasts, articles, and books to keep evolving in areas of personal interest. This just kind of gives you an idea. Again, we had in this example a very simple prompt because we're just asking it to generate 5 online course or workshop ideas that we could create. If I were to take this prompt and maybe enhance it, we could do that together. So I created a new card. I probably went too fast. Click add card. And then to create your own option lets you write whatever you want. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm actually taking the prompt that I just pulled from that card and I'm pasting it in here and I'm going to make adjustments live just to come up with some things. So one, I'm going to come up with, 10 online course or workshop ideas I could create. I don't want it to be workshop. I actually want it full courses, 10 online, 10 full online course ideas I could create. Each idea could include a title and a brief explanation. Skip introduction and go straight into the list. For the titles, use a catchy hook and titles that would be advertised. And anything else that we can put in here, essentially we could say like use simple language, no jargon or buzzwords. Make it SEO friendly, right? People want to find your content. So let's go ahead and hit generate and we'll kind of see how results for the same list of ideas can look different by just modifying the slight details inside of a prompt. And now it's generating 10 ideas, right? Because originally it was just 5. Now I'm creating 10 different ideas. Look at this. You can see now the titles are a little bit longer, a little bit different, right? So how to build a habit of constant learning daily, right? Create a course that teaches people how to integrate learning into their daily routines, including tips on using podcasts, books, and articles to keep their mind engaged and growing. Another one is called Mastering Mindful Habits for a Balanced Life. Right? So look at these titles: The Secret to Flexible Routines That Work, Your Easy Guide to Prioritizing Health, Relationships, and Fulfillment, How to Plan Your Week Like a Pro on Sundays. What's another one? Energy Management Through Smart Eating. So you could see now that we've got better ideas, just written a little bit more simply of something that you could follow. Now, let's say we liked one of these ideas, right, for a course. And maybe we pulled out like this one, right? How to build a habit of constant learning daily, right? And I want to create now a course based on this. So I'm going to come in here and I'm just going to say, create new card, create your own. I'm going to say, create a course outline with a breakout of lessons based on the title and description below. Please use insights from the video to help with the break out of the course outline. And then I pasted the title of my favorite idea from that list or an example with a description so that we can narrow the focus of the AI to really focus on creating content for this particular idea. And so now I'm going to go ahead and hit generate. And in just a moment, what we'll see now is we can actually generate a full course outline to help guide you in creating a course just like this example. So now we have a whole course outline, how to build a habit of constant learning daily. It used a title that we pulled in, all from the ideas and insights from the video. It starts off with the introduction, welcome and course overview, understanding the importance of constant learning, how this course can help you integrate learning into your daily routine. And then it goes into the lessons, right? Lesson 1, the importance of lifelong learning. Lesson 2, setting up your learning routine. And by the way, you could see a breakout in bullets of what would be covered in each of these lessons. And so I've got how many? 5, 6, 7, 8. So you've got 8 different lessons along with a conclusion and then additional resources, which would be recommendations for like podcasts, books, and articles to read, a curated list of resources, etc. So this gives you an idea of how now you could turn a video into course ideas. Then from course ideas, you can generate a full course. And guess what? If you wanted to actually now create the first introduction and lesson, you could come in here. You would copy the title, the introduction, and the first lesson like I just did, right? And now I'm going to click create your own. I'm going to paste that in here. And, help me create the introduction and lesson 1 for this course in detail. And just paste that below. Now, again, we can enhance with prompt engineering, make it a little bit more clear. But in this case, you could actually now turn this into a course by going piece by piece and instilling the insights from the video in order to start generating a course. And so here now it starts to put this together. You've got your welcome and overview, understanding the importance of constant learning. And look at this. It drives right into lesson 1, the importance of lifelong learning. And it brought in the titles of what was inside of that content, right? And so this is one way to help you get started on writing and putting together ideas. This works for a product or a startup idea, comes newsletter ideas, a podcast series. You could do the same exact workflow for it. So just so you guys can see an example, I'm going to go ahead and click create your own. Sorry, not create your own. Let's go ahead and add now the startup ideas in case that's helpful. And again, this is a different topic, so you could see kind of what types of ideas they have for to come up with a new product, a startup, or a problem to solve. So in this case, unified calendar manager, right? So an app that integrates multiple email accounts and calendars into one place. Well, that kind of exists, but we can see how that could work. A time zone meeting scheduler, energy boosting meal planner, mindful habit tracker, and a flexible routine advisor. So this helps you to kind of extract a couple ideas coming out of the video content. I know that you earlier mentioned something about lead magnets, and I want to make sure I can pull that in for you. So let's see what we've got here. I don't have the prompts. I will make sure to publish them. But meanwhile, I'm going to show you guys an example and pull that up for you. This is an example what we have for lead magnets. We actually have an entire template that automatically generates most of this already. And so if we were to just generate lead magnet ideas, let's say you've got your video or you already now need for somebody to sign up to a form so that they could receive this lead magnet. This is a great way to be able to capture those leads. That's why they call it a lead magnet, right? And so this kind of breaks it out into a couple ideas of what you can create from a video. So like in this example for lead magnet ideas, it's how to grow your YouTube channel to 1 million subscribers in 6 months. And it gives you a nice description of what that lead magnet could look like. In this example, it's the ultimate guide to creating a viral video content. So unveil the mystery behind making videos that catch fire on YouTube. This guide covers everything from ideation to execution, ensuring that your videos stand out and attract views by the millions. And so if I keep going, you can kind of see all the ideas that I came up with, right? Thumbnail mastery, right? Earlier you were you were asking about thumbnails and best practices, right? This actually gives you the insights of like how to get people to click on your videos. Thumbnails are the gateway to your content. So learn the art and science of creating eye-catching thumbnails that compel viewers to click with this comprehensive guide on thumbnail strategy. So if I wanted to take this one, right, and maybe what I want to do, let's see what this card says here. All right, let's create a lead magnet outline based on this title and description. And so now I've got this title and description, I'm pulling it in, and now we can use that to create the lead magnet outline. And so now as we drop it into a project, you can see now we're going to start generating the outline for a lead magnet based on one of the ideas that we pulled out of Alphana in order to be able to generate that content. Beautiful. Now it's setting up, it's uploading. Look at that. This covers all the details you need for crafting thumbnails that work, right? It has the introduction and the importance of it, understanding the role of thumbnails, what makes it important, the psychology behind it, and elements of a compelling thumbnail. So for example, the visual appeal, the importance of simplicity and clarity, using colors, etc. And then crafting thumbnails that drive clicks, right? So strategies for designing thumbnails that stand out, testing and iteration, and then advanced thumbnail strategies, right? So how you can leverage trends and emotions, use real world examples with case studies, right? And then a conclusion. So now this helps you or all of us, right, to be able to help generate lead magnets to be able to capture people. And so this is a great example of one that we could use to publish. And again, as you're using content, whether you're pulling in your own videos or you're using content online, credit back to the creators, right? Like, hey, I just watched, an hour-long video from Mr. Beast, and here's everything we know about how to get people to click on your videos, right? And you give a nice credit right back to the creator. You put a link back to it and be like, look, I created this beautiful ebook or a download that you can have all based on the insights from this video. Here's the links so you can go watch the full video, right? This helps you to become the to be authoritative in this space, being able to curate and share this content. But it's also a great way if you have your own content in your own videos for you to be able to put your content out there as well. Is there a limit on prompt length? I'm thinking it would be good to analyze 2 or more videos at a time, but I assume we can't do it with the card templates. I could see we could use the prompt to combine them, but wondering about length. Great question. So today you can't combine 2 or 3 videos in order to be able to do what I'm doing right now, but you can aggregate information and paste it into a prompt. The limits are probably going to be around 1,000 to 1,500 characters, if I'm not mistaken, that you'll be able to post within it. You do have a lot of room. Like I could take an entire blog post article and throw it into the card, and that should work fine to be able to come up with it. So like, for example, I could take this entire, card, I could copy it, and I could come in here and say, create your own, and now say, based on this outline, write a, summary for each part of the lead magnet, right? So, now I just pasted all of this, right? This is a ton of content. So you could post an article or another piece of content and it should work. By the way, a second method, right? Just to give you guys a nice trick, I'll let this ride and then I'll show you. But now this is diving deeper into each chapter, right? Because I put in the bullet points that I wanted to guide the AI to focus on what it is that I wanted. So this gives you that as an example. Now, let's say I love the insights from this video, right? I could click on transcript. And again, we give you a beautiful transcript. I can copy this transcript here. Now, when I go to create a new project, if I go ahead and I click create, let me close all this. All right, now I click create. You could paste the entire transcript here in this text box. So I'm going to go ahead and paste that. So now I've got this transcript that I've pasted inside of the text box. And I could use that as context to help guide the AI on generating content. Then I could also come in here and upload a YouTube video, or I could upload a video directly from, Google Drive, my computer, Dropbox, or OneDrive, either way. When you upload those videos, so for example, if I pulled one here, maybe what I could do is, let me see if I have a short video I could upload quickly. Which one is it? Yeah, I have no idea what this is going to say, but we're just going to try one as an example. So I'm going to pull this in. So now what it's going to do, it's going to combine the knowledge behind the video and the text that I pasted in here. In this case, I pasted a transcript. In another case, it could be a blog post. It could be copy from a website. It could be a note that you wrote, and you could paste that in here also to generate that context. And then of course I can come over here and I could select a card to be able to generate. And, if I were to come up with like, let's say, I don't know, blog post. No, let's do something else. Let's see what we could do. Maybe just learned LinkedIn post. Click next. I'm not going to edit the transcript. I'm just going to hit generate. So now in this case, what you're seeing is that I'm combining now the knowledge from one video and pulled in a transcript that I pulled from somewhere else. That's going to combine together. You're going to see that here in the knowledge section. So now we're using these two pieces as knowledge in order to draft now a LinkedIn post. So this is how you can now combine 2 sets of information in one to be able to generate some content. So that was a great question, Nikki. Any other questions? Anybody else or comments or anything else you'd like to see? And here we go. All right. And so now it's pulling in. It's got the context, got the knowledge. We're extracting the information. Look at this. And it's drafting now our just learned LinkedIn post. And you can see it's even got the hook. I just learned something fascinating about creating successful YouTube content. It's not about having a budget. It's not about having the fanciest equipment. The most successful creators do something totally different. Here's what works. Boom. And it draws you into seeing the content, right? And if I wanted to, I can come in here now and do ideas. And so, for example, let's say you were trying to come up with a podcast series. Let's say podcast ideas. All right, boom. I'm going to click that one now. And now it's going to come up with ideas to create a podcast based on the topics that were discussed in this video. And again, it's combining now the video and the transcript in one to be able to generate the insights for this particular video. And here we go. Now I've got 5 great ideas to come up with a brand new podcast series, right? One called the 100 Video Challenge. Explore the journey of creators who committed to making 100 videos, improving each time. Each episode features a different creator, sharing their growth and lessons learned along the way. This will actually be a pretty cool channel, right? Behind the thumbnail, dive into the art and science of creating captivating thumbnails, discussing techniques with graphic designers and YouTubers who have mastered the craft of grabbing attention with a single image. I mean, if we want to talk about a niche audience, this is really niche for a specific topic and how deep you can really go to be able to create an entire series based on just this one idea right there. So again, today's episode show and this session was really about like, hey, you don't have to generate content from scratch. You can actually leverage this to generate ideas and then expand on those ideas to be able to create more content afterwards. So I showed you the podcast. I'll just put this in here. We have another card for generating ideas, and that's for generating newsletter ideas. And so if I come in here to newsletter, it's perfect. Again, this isn't to generate a newsletter. We do have cards for that. This one's to actually generate ideas for a brand new newsletter series. So let's say you're going to start a Substack or you're going to start a newsletter on Beehive or on another platform, and you're trying to come up with ideas for what your series of newsletters should be. This is one way that you can use this to be able to generate it. And so here we go, right? Mindful Movement Mondays. Encourage readers to start their week with a focus on movement. Whether it's a walk, yoga, or any activity that gets them moving, share tips on staying active and benefits for their daily movement. Beautiful. Habit Building Wednesdays, Flexible Friday Routine, Sunday Planning Sessions. These are all, or No Agenda Time. I mean, this could be an interesting newsletter, right? Again, I didn't watch this video, but I can tell from the video, the insights that are very specific that she's talking about about having no agenda time blocked out on your calendar. So introduce the concept where readers can expand. So, let's just pull in, let's say, no agenda time. And now I'm going to go create your own and be like, I am starting a new newsletter called No Agenda Time. Perfect. It's about the following. Can you create a 12-week newsletter, 12 weeks of newsletters for me? Include a title, a short description, and break it out by week. So this is a title, actually, subject line. That would be good. Short description and break it out by week. So now that I like this concept, just go ahead and generate what your next 12 weeks of newsletters would look like. And again, you could do this for like the 12 weeks of courses, 12 weeks of podcast episodes, 12 weeks of like your YouTube channel series, right? Or if you were launching a new product or a startup and it gave you startup ideas, you could do now, what are the first 12 features that you're going to build based on this startup idea? And again, you have the knowledge from the episode to help align and to be able to bring that content in so that it can help draft that for you, which is much different than just using ChatGPT at random to say, hey, give me 5 ideas for a newsletter about this idea, right? You're going to get different results because now we're bringing in experts and their expertise based on what they were talking about to help generate some of these ideas. All right, let's see, let me refresh. So if that ever happens, sometimes, like for example, our AI providers like OpenAI, their systems can be down or slow. So what I recommend, if something like that happens, you can go ahead and just click regenerate. And sometimes it just takes one more to work out. It should work on the first time, but in case that ever happens, retry one more time. Very normal. That's why we have the regenerate button. That helps you to make sure that we get the content out. And there you go. It just took one hit of a regenerate button, and that got me now to break it out. And now look at this. Now we've got a newsletter called No Agenda Time. It's a 12-week newsletter plan, and it broke out. First one, welcome to No Agenda Time, right? Discover the joy of No Agenda Time and learning the concept. Embrace the freedom of doing nothing. Unleash your creative side. Recharge with No Agenda Time. So this kind of breaks out now what each week of this newsletter would look like. And what's great is that this serves as an outline for you. So now you can start drafting each individual newsletter week by week and have a game plan to follow. So this works, again, really well for YouTube series, newsletters, courses, podcasts, ideas. So the whole point is leverage this content to help generate and come up with ideas. Then you could take those ideas and refine it to make them even better and more personal towards you and your audience. Again, Weekly Insider Live, we do this session every single week. It's really tips and tricks. We try to go deeper into certain topics. Some days we cover how to do ideas, some others to generate content, and we just kind of really help to teach you to do more with what you already have today. Again, my name is Sebastian Mourra. I am the CEO and co-founder of Alphana, and I love that all of you will be able to come on today, and I can't wait to see you guys again next week. Again, we do this every Wednesday, and later today we're actually doing a quick start session, so if anybody needs to get onboarded, you can drop in. We usually do those every Thursday, but we're going to do another session today for everyone. So again, Sebastian Mourra, Weekly Insider Live. Thank you so much. If you guys need anything at all, please don't hesitate to reach out, and I'll see you next time. Bye, everyone.